welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. Today I will be reading to you, and we're going to be analyzing together something very interesting. It's rare for me to find an interview where a fashion designer actually touches base on very important core topics fashion-wise when it comes to the future of fashion, where's fashion gone to, where it's coming from, what's going wrong with it, more or less. And we're just going to touch base, and we're going to kind of have a couple of thoughts on the topic. So, but before we dive in, merchandise, never give up on love. Here you have it, t-shirt, and also all other products in the description box down below. Fashion Bunker merch store. Follow the link to see all other things that are available. There might be in your country also a bar available underneath this video that we could scroll through and pick out what you like, click on it, and it guides you off to the Fashion Bunker merch store. T-shirts, mugs, totes, stickers, posters, hoodies, baby clothes even. I mean, you name it, it's all there. So never give up on love as you're wearing it. Now, for the article at hand, we will be also kind of analyzing it as we go along. So I will be also reviewing it. So this all should fall under the guidelines of fair use on YouTube. If it does not, we can also remove the video. That's fine. But I think educationally, this is very important for all of us to be able to kind of just learn from this. I am, however, also posting the link to the entire interview, which you can find on nowfashion.com in the description box down below. So you can follow that link to read the entire review. The entire interview. I will be reading just bits of it that are relevant to us. However, the interview is a bit longer. It is Shayne Oliver. Shayne Oliver, streetwear is for old people. Remember the videos I made like over a year ago on old versus new and just the terminology of old in fashion and also in perfumery, how wrong it is to use it or not, depending on the point of view. So Shayne Oliver, Streetwear is for Old People by Elisabeta Tudor. Elisabeta says, we haven't heard much from Shayne Oliver lately, but he hasn't disappeared altogether, determined to contemplate a new way to think about, create, and use fashion. The Hood by Air founder and designer has partnered with the Italian brand Colmar for a capsule collection called Age, or A.G.E. We met Shayne not only to talk about his new partnership, but also to ask him his opinion on various topics related to the fashion industry. Here's what he has to say. All right, Shayne, illuminate us. On the slowing down of the streetwear trend. Yes, the streetwear trend is slowing down, believe it or not. And I've felt it since years now. And that's why people keep asking, like, why aren't you doing more sneaker reviews? I don't care more for it. Like, it's really, I like sneakers, they're comfy, but I'm not going to run after the release of some crazy collaboration or some crazy, I don't care, really. My priorities are elsewhere. I'm bored of it. So on the slowing down of streetwear trend, the majority of streetwear that we wear today actually has nothing to do with the street. And that's very frustrating. Major brands manufacturing a pair of sneakers at outrageous prices do a lot of harm to the fashion industry, particularly to independent brands and young designers. They distort the balance between the street and luxury, and they break down the social hierarchy that maintains this balance, creating tension between these two worlds, which are both full of creative potential. It's almost like it's fake streetwear. I'm looking at you, Louis Vuitton. Besides, I'm tired of being thought of as a streetwear designer. When I started exploring the idea with Hood by Air, I was quickly put into a box. Now, years later, any brands claiming to be streetwear do so as luxury brands. I think that today, the world of streetwear needs to stand out by making itself more vulnerable, more tangible, and more connected to the realities of the street, and less focused on the logos of major brands and other capitalist retailers. Thank you for saying this. This is exactly what I've been feeling for such a long time. Really annoyed by The Balenciaga sneakers, the Gucci sneakers, Dior trying to do sneakers, Dolce & Gabbana doing sneakers, Donatella Versace was just like photographed a couple of days ago roaming the streets somewhere, entering boutiques with streetwear, looking at sneakers. Donatella, we know that you're Michael now, but on fashion that pretends to be gangsta. Today, everyone wants to look like a rapper from the 90s or 2000s, but they go to the luxury brands in order to dress that way. This kind of streetwear is for older people, for people who have some sort of false nostalgia for a past where they didn't dress like a rapper because it was too urban for their taste. But they want to do it now because the big luxury brands are endorsing the trend and it makes them feel young again when they dress this way. It's a type of stay young fashion, and it's quite strange. I love how he's like being super politically kind of correct, like by describing this whole situation just as being quite strange. I'm sure he has a lot more to say, but he's keeping it clean, which is okay. On ideas and identity theft within the luxury industry. What does he have to say? Instead of reinventing oneself and moving forward, luxury brands are copying and pasting the ideas of young designers. Thank you for saying this. So true. And we're not just talking about luxury brands. I'm looking at you, Zara. I'm looking at you, H&M. I'm looking at all of these big brands. Under big, it's not just luxury. They just like plagiarize from younger designers. And they don't even think that they are touchable. They think they're untouchable. And they cannot be held credit for literally theft from smaller designers. It's a horrible situation. And the law, even though they say the law is the same for everyone, it ain't. It ain't. You got a good lawyer, you got the millions to protect yourself. A little person, little fish has no chance at winning because you're just going to keep kind of pushing more paperwork onto them until you dry them dry, until you completely suck out all of their money out of them so that they cannot afford a lawyer anymore, and then they're going to have to drop the lawsuit. I mean, that's basically what happens most of the time. Tragic. Anyway, so on ideas and identity theft within the luxury industry, instead of reinventing oneself and moving forward, luxury brands are copying and pasting the ideas of young designers, which they later sell at outrageous prices. If you can remember back about 5 years ago, everyone was excited about the fact that more and more independent brands were making it into the official fashion show schedules. Where did they all go? Apart from a few brands whose designers often have a second job in an established luxury brand, the majority cracked under the pressure of the industry, and the ones who are still here had to adapt and evolve to survive. I'm thinking of Jacques Mus in particular, who had a really unique style when he first started out. His vision of femininity was incredibly original and interesting before his brand turned into a machine for making millions. Now he's making sexy evening wear. I think that's why there are fewer and fewer young designers trying to launch their own brand. They fear that their ideas will be taken over by a luxury group of their creativity will be stifled for the sake of money. They want to protect themselves as well as their creativity, but suddenly, deprived of fresh, young, creative minds, the luxury industry is no longer able to deliver authentic fashion designs, and so it turns to the street, or to Africa, which often happens as well, in order to copy and paste ideas when it's in need of excitement. So well put. Then he's asked on his collaboration with Colmar. It's interesting to work with a brand that has a genuine expertise in outdoor sports equipment. Many pieces from my own Hood by Air brand are inspired by sportswear, especially ski wear, which had been a major influencer for my designs. Colmar gave me a lot of room to experiment and bring my own expertise to this challenge. The unisex silhouettes and colors of this capsule collection are very powerful and represent a sort of renewal. I wanted to explore every facet of mountain clothing, of a rural style aspiring to be deeply urban. He's been asked on his future as a designer. He says, I'm trying to understand what it means to be a designer today. I think that fashion has been going through an existential crisis for some time, and that's why you have to start to make your own rules. I've been questioning myself for a while. I'm trying to build new creative spaces, a new way of interacting with the garment. I hope to limit my production to a single workshop and not make countless collections every year just because that's the pace dictated by the industry. I would rather be represented by 10 stores in the next 5 years than 120 in the next 2 years. I want to protect myself by limiting the eyes that will be looking in, to avoid the kind of voyeurism that often ends up turning into idea theft. In short, I want to reestablish a more intimate control over my own brand, more elitist. Not elitist from a financial point of view, but elitist in the sense of a new way of thinking and communicating your art to the people that are interested in what you do. Kudos to you, my dear. On music taking credit for fashion ideas. This is a good one too. I'm under the impression that this day and age, pop stars, especially rappers and their entourage, have more influence over a fashion brand than the creative director of a company. But all too often, they take credit for the ideas of the designers in question. How long are we going to let them do this? We are slaves to our own industry while these celebrities take over our ideas. In the early days of Comme des Garçons and Yohji Yamamoto, artists were more than happy just to be able to attend a fashion show or to get some free clothes. Today, a front row full of celebrities is often more important to the brands and audience than the fashion show itself. And gifting has become a daily ritual. When I start doing fashion shows again, I will make sure to go back to the strong foundations of fashion back in the day, not because I have anything against celebrities, but because I do not feel respected by them as a creative individual. So there's like more things to read, but you could check that out in the actual full-on interview. Link is in the description underneath this video. Shayne Oliver, thank you so much, Shayne, for this incredible honesty and for being so cutting edge in terms of like you cut like a dagger through a lot of we have to use the word crap that's been being thrown at us in the fashion world, whether it be the fashion industry, fashion business, or the fashion consumer side of things, marketing, whatever. Like he really brings it to the point, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm super excited when I read an article or an interview like that one, because it does give me hope, because it makes me feel like I'm not alone. I'm not the only one who sees things this way. I'm not the only one trying to change things. I'm not the only one who's trying to raise awareness, because at the end of the day, what this video does here is it tries to raise awareness. So think more next time you're purchasing something. Think about, where is it actually coming from? Who's actually really designing it? What's the intention behind a piece? Don't fall victim to passive consumerism. That is what a fashionista is. That is what a slave to fashion is. You are not that. You're intelligent. You use your mind. You think with your own brain. Think about why you're purchasing a piece. What are the needs you have behind it? What is the meaning behind it? I'm not saying you should overthink things all the time. You don't have to. Certain things are just mere pleasures. Like, for example, for me, tasting a strawberry. It's a pure pleasure. I don't think about it too much. I just enjoy it a lot. I also love shopping. But I keep an eye, just a part of me is always awake. It's not completely asleep inside of this huge machinery marketing strategies employs that try to kind of make us sleepy and drowsy so that we kind of just accept passively whatever is thrown at us. A part of you always has to stay awake. Vigil. You have to be very, very aware of your surroundings. Another part of you can indulge, can enjoy, but one part of you has to be always prepared to understand, where's the trick? Am I being tricked into purchasing something? My hard-earned money is going into something that is just a moment in time, and it's overpriced, and it doesn't mean what it really is. It doesn't deliver what I'm kind of led to believe that it will deliver. And am I willing to fall victim to this? I say no. But the choice is up to you, for yourself. not for others, obviously. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you have, please do thumb it up, and I want to hear all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let's start a conversation, and go check out the full article on Now Fashion. I think it's on Now Fashion. Yes, it's on Now Fashion. The link is in the description box down below. If you haven't already but wish to, consider subscribing to my channel here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm also on Patreon, Super Dacob all spelled together, where you can help finance and see the channel grow by pledging up to as little as $1 a month, up to as high as you wish. You will have access to special limited videos and photos, as well as links to coupons and stuff that is just initiating now. But that's a kind of secret that you got to check out on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Never give up on love. Love ya. Bye. Mwah.